Hello, my name is Briana, and today I will be going over the protocols for the submaximal 1-mile jog assessment and the 1-mile walking test for measuring VO2 max. For both of these assessments, you will need a 400-meter track, pencil and paper, a stopwatch, a scale, proper running attire, and an optional heart rate monitor. The jog test assessment is for 18 to 29-year-old men and women. A 2 to 3 minute warm-up of dynamic exercises is required. The jog will be performed for 1 mile at a comfortable pace without stopping. Keep in mind that running is not required because this is a submaximal test and not a maximal test, meaning that these test protocols do not reach the maximum of the respiratory and cardiovascular systems. Meanwhile, the maximal test does measure the peak oxygen uptake or maximal aerobic capacity. The men will have a finish time of at least 8 minutes and women at least 9 minutes, with heart rate not exceeding 180 beats per minute for both assessments. Before beginning the 1-mile jog assessment, I will begin with my 2 to 3 minute warm-up of 3 dynamic stretches. Now that I have completed my 3 dynamic stretches, I am now ready to begin my 1-mile jog assessment. Once my 4 laps have been completed to make a mile, my heart rate should be recorded immediately after. If the heart rate monitor is not available, I can use my coronary artery or the radial artery by feeling my pulse on these sites for 15 seconds, then multiplying that by 4 to get the beats per minute. After completing the 1-mile jog assessment, I can now move on to the 1-mile walk test or the Rockport test. But before completing this assessment, I will need to complete a 5 to 10 minute warm-up of 3 static exercises. The 1-mile walk test is for 20 to 69-year-old men and women. This test is good for assessing sedentary and older populations. The test should be done walking as fast as possible. Post-completion, heart rate should be taken again as shown previously in the video for the 1-mile jog test. Before the values are calculated, make sure the proper numbers are converted to the right method. For example, if the time is 8 minutes and 15 seconds, you would divide the 15 seconds by 60 to get a decimal of 0.25. The new time would be 8.25 minutes. My time for the 1-mile jogging test was 11 minutes and 15 seconds. I would divide the 15 seconds by 60 to get a decimal of 0.25. My new time would now be 11.25 minutes. My time for the Rockport walking test was 13 minutes and 10 seconds. I would divide the 10 seconds by the 60 seconds to give me a decimal of 0.16. My new time would now be 13.16 minutes. The formula for the 1-mile jog equation is displayed on this slide. For general purposes, I will be using the number 1 for males and the number 0 for females. Make sure to use the proper order of operations before completing the equation. After plugging in my proper values into the 1-mile jog equation, I got a calculation for my VO2 max of 41.97 milliliters per kilogram per minute. The next equation is for the 1 mile walk test. I will be following the same order of operations as previously shown and be plugging in my proper values. After plugging in my proper values for the 1 mile walk test equation, I got a VO2 max value of 49.09 milliliters per kilogram per minute.